Hi everybody, I'm Donna at Pequest Valley Art and you're watching Paint This. Before we get started with today's project, I want to wish everybody a happy and healthy holiday, happy new year, and may 2023 be the best year ever. For today's project, we are going to paint a poinsettia wreath door hanger. So at Dollar Tree, I bought this 12-inch, I don't know, it's maybe a 1/4 inch thick wooden round. And I'm taking my sand block and I'm just gonna sand it quickly. Before I paint it. You want to wipe off all the dust. I'm going to be using FolkArt multi-surface paints. I'll tell you the colors as I go, and I'm going to be using a variety of brushes, which I'll also tell you as we go along. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to wet it in water, dry it off on my towel a little, and I'm going to do a white background on this. You can use any color that your little heart desires. And I'll speed this up. Okay, now I'm going to take my blow dryer, or you can take a heat gun, whichever you have, and I'm going to dry the surface. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sanding block, or if you have sandpaper, that's fine. I would use a gentler grade of sandpaper. Honestly, I don't know what this one is. And I'm going to sand it again. Just lightly. Okay. And again, I'm going to make sure and dust it off. Then I'm going to paint on a second coat. Got a little bit of green on my brush. Oh, it's snowing outside. I live in northwest New Jersey, near the Poconos, about a half an hour east of the Poconos. And it gets pretty cold here. Not quite as cold as the Poconos, but we get the snow, and it is snowing, and it looks so beautiful. I'm really enjoying doing these videos for you guys. I hope you're enjoying watching them. If you are, feel free to subscribe and give me a like if you feel so inclined, and I'll just continue to make more and more videos. If there's anything special that you'd like to see painted, put it in the comments and I'll try to accommodate. Okay. You'll notice at the very top of the wood round, there are 2 little holes there. They were there when I bought it, and there was like a shoestring piece of twine that I took out that you can hang it by, or you can replace it with ribbon or whatever you like. Okay, now I'm going to blow dry it again. There we go, that should do. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flat brush and we're going to make a wreath. Okay, so I'm going to take, what do we have here? This is a 3/4 inch flat brush. I'm going to wet it in my water, dry it on my towel, and I'm going to pick up some, this is called Thicket. I'm going to load some of that onto my brush and a little bit of citrus green. And I'm just going to hold the edge of the brush perpendicular to the wood, and I'm just going to drag like this around in a circle. with wavy lines. I'm going to pick up some more. Okay, some more paint. These lines, you want to kind of weave them together like this. And there's no rhyme or reason to my twists. It's wherever the brush goes. Once again, picking up more paint, using the edge of the brush. Okay, and you can do as much or as little as you want, obviously. And I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to use the same brush. On half of it, I'm going to double load. We're going to be doing the one stroke technique today. So I'm going to load Thicket on one half and Citrus Green on the other. And I'm just going to go back and forth. Loading the brush. I'm going to add a bit of white to the Citrus Green side. And now we're just going to pull some leaves. So I think what I'm going to do, make sure that those two little holes that I told you about a few minutes ago are at the top where you want the top of the wreath to be. I'm going to put a bow up here. So what I'm going to do is turn it so the dots are toward me. And I'm going to pull some leaves going downward. So to do this, again, I'm standing the brush up, applying pressure, pulling, and then lifting up on the brush. And then you can pull a stem right through that. And again, I'm going to load some more paint, a little white on that side there, and pull some more of those pretty leaves. Okay. Now I'm going to start some down the other side. All right, so I'm going to go this way. And I'm putting some on the inside, some on the outside. I'll be putting some in the middle. And I just keep loading more and more of the paint. When you come to lift, pull to a point so you have nice points on your leaves. I'll bring some more over here. Now I'm going to flip it back over to face me. I'll do one more up here. Bring that to a point. There we go. All right. We're going to be painting wet on wet today, which means I'm not letting them dry. We're going to paint right over it. All right. So I'm going to take the same brush. Let me get some more white. I have titanium white. Put some more of that on my palette. Okay, so these are going to be like a whitish green poinsettas. So I know we have a white background, but we're going to put a little tinge of the citrus green on here. A little more. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to do 3 poinsettas. So I'll do 1, 2, 3. I don't want them to be all exactly even. What I'm going to do is put the brush up. The white side is going to be my outer edge. I'm hoping it's going to show. It's going to be picking up some of the paint that's already down. Okay. What I'm doing is holding the brush, again, perpendicular to the wood round, and I'm going to wiggle my brush just a little and pull it to a point. Okay. We're going to do 5. I'm going to try to do 5 of those for each poinsettia. Just keep loading the paint on. Now I'll do another leaf here, wiggling. It's not blending yet. Pulling it outward. Need some more white. Okay, two more. I'm going to add a tad of classic green to this particular one here. And one last leaf. I'm going to pick up some more white on this one. It's a little too green for my liking. Okay. All right, and we're going to come back and we're going to do another layer over the top of that. All right, so let's go back to the top. Okay, now I'm going to pick another spot to do one. I think I'll do one right over here. It's a little bit green. The next layer I'll do more white on the top of that. Okay, and we're going to kind of do the same thing, just wiggling, pulling, lift to a point. Now I'm going to switch brushes and I'm going to go to a smaller brush. Actually, you know what? I am going to go to a smaller brush, but I'm going to let those dry a little before I do the next layer. So now I'm going to take, let's see, I have this says a 1/4 inch angle brush. I'm going to wet it in water. Okay, I'm going to go into the Thicket green. I'm just going to load Thicket on here right now. And I want to incorporate some of the darker green color and make it really pop. So I'm going to add some smaller leaves. And again, you're going to do the same thing. Angle brushes are really super easy to make leaves with. What you do is you just push down on an angle on the brush, push and lift to a point, and then you just pull a stem through. And I'll do it again. Okay. And on this side, I'll do some. Maybe one here. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to what I do. It's just what I feel looks pleasing to the eye. Okay. I give too much paint on my brush. There we go. And you can go over the other leaves. I'm going to do some on the top on this side as well. And I may come over a few of these with a second coat. We'll see. I'm going to do another one here. couple more. We'll be adding some other things to this as well. Washing my brush out. Always wash your brush out and lay it on a towel or a paper towel. You don't want to leave it like this. If the water goes into, this is the ferrule, if water goes into there, it could destroy your brush, separate it from here, and your bristles won't lay flat. So take care of your brushes. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do the second layer on the poinsettias. So now I'm going to take a 1/2 inch flat brush, and I'm going to double load again. I'm going to take white, and I'm going to take lime green, but more white this time. And I'm going to go in between the other leaves. So we'll start sort of in the center, and we're going to pull. That's too much white. I need more green. Okay, push down. Okay. There we go. Okay. That'll show up better, I'm hoping, once I highlight it. Okay. Getting a little muddy. If you find your brush is getting muddy, just wipe it off. You don't have to wash it, just wipe it off and then reload in a clean spot. Now for the centers of the poinsettias, I'm just going to take the back edge of one of my brushes, and I'm going to take some Thicket green, and I'm going to dot in the centers. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. We're going to come back and add some more to that. All right, so to Christmas painting, we need berries. So what I'm going to do is take the bottom end of one of my bigger brushes this time, And I'm going to pick up some Cardinal red. No, actually I'm going to do Juneberry first. It's more of like a purpley red color. It's really, really pretty. And I'm just going to dot in some berries here and there. You don't have to do 3 berries at a time. I always do those because it looks nicer. They all don't have to be the same size. Just place them around the wreath where you think they look pretty. Kind of balance the color out. Okay. We'll do a little one over here, maybe something over here. Let's put them randomly. This color is so pretty. And we're going to come over that with some red as well. Some Cardinal red. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take my, let's see which brush. I'm going to use this. This is a 3/8 inch angle brush. And I am going to make a bow with that. So what I want to do is make a loose kind of bow right here. And I'm going to start with the Juneberry again. All right, so I'm going to load up with Juneberry. I might add just a touch of water. I mean a touch of water to it, so it spreads nice and easy for me. I'm thinking, do I want to? All right, make sure your holes are on the sides here. I'm going to dot my middle spot where I'm going to put the center of my bow. And I am going to leave the brush, and once I set it down, it's going to stay in that direction. I'm just going to pull my hand, and here's what's going to happen. Okay. Oh my God, that color is so pretty. We're going to come back over this. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to flip this over. And again, I'm going to pull, go in, okay, and then in the center, right here, I'm going to make the little knot, just by doing that. Okay. Oh, you know what I want to do? I was going to use a different brush, but I'm going to use this one. Now we have to make the ribbon that's coming down. I'm not going to be putting any words on mine. If you want to, leave room. I am just pulling the bow. Or the ribbon, rather. I'm dovetailing my edges. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little detail brush. Let's take some classic green. And I'm going to go to the centers of my poinsettas and pull out just little bits here and there. Just for some added details on each of these little leaves that I painted. And I go from the center of the leaf like that, and then again from the center and pull outward to the other sides. Like that. And if you want, you can pull further details into the center of each of these leaves here. Or petals. I keep calling them leaves. They're petals. Okay. I'm going to do the same to all of these. You can do this on the petals behind as well. You want to put a little line there. You can, to show where the vein of the petal is. You don't have to. I always feel the more detail, the better. But to each his own. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the little berries that we put on here, and I'm going to take the bottom of one of my smaller brushes again, and I'm going to go this time into classic red. They're still a little wet, but I want to brighten them up just a bit, and then we're going to highlight them with white too. So I'm just touching on top of the Juneberry that's there already. Just gives it a little pop of color. I'm going to add this color to the bow also. Like that. I'm also going to take some daffodil yellow. Actually, I have moon yellow here. I'm going to take a little bit of moon yellow. And again, I'm going to take the bottom of one of my brushes, small ones. And I'm going to tap some of that yellow into the centers on top of that dark green that I put in the center of the poinsettias before. Just to give it a little more color. Just like that. Now I'm going to go back to the bow. So I'm going to take my, I think it was a 1/2 inch angled brush that I used. Yep. And I'm going to go into the Cardinal red. I'm thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to take an even smaller brush. I am. I'm going to try something. Oh, it's really snowing outside. I wish I could show you. I'm going to take, let's see here. No, that's too big. Here we go. I'm going to take a number 6 flat brush, and I'm going to dip it in the, I dipped it in water already and wiped it on my paper towel. But I'm going to take Cardinal red, and I'm going to go over the bow. I'm going to leave some of the Juneberry on one side because it's a little darker, so it looks like it's shaded almost. And then on the other side, Cardinal red. And you might want to just play around with this, you know, with the colors here and there. I'll do the knot. Boop. I don't know if the camera's going to show show these colors accurately or do them justice, but in real life this looks so pretty, these colors. Okay, and then just kind of carefully come down the edge of the ribbon here. Oops, it looks like I got a little little splattering going on, but you know what? That gives me an idea. I might splatter even more. I think that might look really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to blow dry what I have so far. There's my detail. So these berries are probably going to take a little time to dry because they're raised. They look so pretty though. I think what I'd like to do is take some Treasure Gold. And again, I'm going to dip the bottom of my paintbrush in there. Pick up some gold. And I'm going to also dot that into the centers, oops, of the poinsettas. Just dot it around. I think that'll look pretty. Then I'm going to take my script liner, number 2 script liner, dampen it, and I'm going to pick up some more of the Treasure Gold. And I might do some, I'm going to run the script liner down the center of some of the leaves, so it looks like the vein of the leaves. That's going to look really pretty when it dries. I'm just making little itty bitty lines. You don't have to do all the leaves, just some of them. Okay. I'm washing my brush. What I want to do is clean up some of the edges of my ribbon here. So I'm going to go back into, I'm taking my little tiny detail brush and I'm going into the Juneberry. And anywhere I want to clean up on the Juneberry side, I'm going to. Then I'm going to go on the Cardinal red side and clean up any bits that have to do with the Cardinal red, because some of it's Juneberry, some of it's Cardinal red. And that's pretty much it. Okay. Maybe a little down here. Give it pointier dovetails. And then I want to define where the knot is. Here we go. Now I got a little bit of splatter over here with this red, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do about it. I was thinking if I splattered red around, it might look nice, but then again, it might not. And then I'd have to repaint it all. While I'm thinking, I'm going to take my little detail brush. I'm going to pick the white titanium up with the titanium white, and go around some of my berries, just making like little comma strokes. make them pop out a little bit. Boom, boom. Just little commas. Oops. Still wet. It's okay though. There we go. And I think I'm going to do a couple little highlights on the bow as well. Okay, and I put the highlights, the white highlights, on the parts that I think would be sticking out the most. So I wouldn't put them on the inside here. I'd put it on the outer area. Then we have a little bow center. Okay, this might be sticking out as well. There. Going to attempt to cover those little tiny spots that I put on here by accident. It shouldn't be too hard. No, it's not. Here we go. And if there's a little red on the leaves, so be it. It could be berries for all you know. All right. And if you want to add words, you can. You could take a Posca pen or paint, doesn't matter, and put "be merry" or whatever your choice of words are. I'm gonna wet my #2 script liner, and not gonna dry it off. I'm gonna take classic green, take some more water, swirl it around just a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to roll my script liner, pull it up to a point, and I want to make some, I don't know, like maybe some little swirls or something. For instance, right here, I'm going to put my pinky down, and I'm going to just swirl around and twist like that. Make a few of those here and there. You can make them on the inside, the outside, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll make one right up here. Okay, I was also thinking that perhaps I would make some, I'm going to take some Thicket green as well. And I'm thinking about pulling out little looks like kind of like pine needles. I don't know if it'll show or not. Something like that. Make them a little darker. Okay. Now for the fun part. Oh boy. So, here comes the glitter, girls and boys. This is a glitter tray that I got at Michael's. The name on it is Recollections. It has like a little plug in it here So if you're going to use glitter and you glitter your project, you can dump your glitter back in here and then put it back into your container and without wasting any of your glitter. It really comes in handy if you use glitter, which I'm about to do. Okay, so I am going to use iridescent glitter. It's extra fine. I'm going to take a little bit of a matte Mod Podge. What do I have here? Is this the matte one? Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to take some Mod Podge, which will dry clear. Put some on my palette. I'm going to take, I have a little angle brush here. It's a 1/2-inch angle brush. Put this out of the way for a moment. Okay, and I'm going to paint some Mod Podge over the poinsettas. Just the poinsettas. Okay? It doesn't have to cover them exactly, but you want to cover all of just where the poinsettia is. Okay, just a thin coat. And then I'm going to put iridescent glitter over the top of the poinsettias. You don't have to do this. You can skip this step if you're not a glitter person. I get it. I happen to like glitter, especially at Christmas. So I will use it. Okay, there we go. So I just put a thin coat of Mod Podge on there, and now I'm going to sprinkle. Make sure the rest of your project is dry. Like my berries might be a little wet still. I'm just going to tap that in here. Oh God, that looks so pretty. Okay. I'll tap that there, and then one more. Oh my goodness, does that look beautiful? All right, I'll put my lid back on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little detail brush, and I think I'll take a little bit of Juneberry, and I'm going to sign it. I like to kind of hide my signature in these sorts of things so it doesn't take away from the design. So okay, I've decided that I'm going to add some polka dots to the ribbon. So I'm going to take my dotting tool. You can also use the bottom of your paintbrush to do dots. And I'm just going to put some polka dots on the ribbon. Okay. As you dot, the dots will get smaller, so be sure to keep reloading. Okay, so here is our finished design. I don't know if you can see the glitter on these flowers, but in person it looks really, really pretty.